guys, welcome to the Bunseog of Keumgang. So we're going to start breaking this form down into its movements and kind of reanalyzing and kind of repurposing some of these techniques. I want to start off by saying that there's two things I want to show at the beginning. The first is the way that we learned it from our grandmaster, which is instead of the coming from here, the Kukkiwon version is number one, where I go to here and then I go to these palm strikes down the way, right? The way that we learned it was from right here. We do a front kick, side kick, turning back kick, step down into this. Personally, I prefer that. I think it's much more dynamic. It's more in tune with Taekwondo, but I'm going to teach techniques off of both versions. So he gets my face and he's yelling. The moment where I feel like this fight is going to occur is not the moment when he throws the first punch. It occurs before that. When I can tell that this fight is escalated to a point of no return, I make the first movement and I'm going to get on top. This can be used to drive him back, this can be used to get on top of biceps, but essentially I'm going to use this to get inside and to contain. I can also turn this into double punches to the chin if I so desire. But for the purposes of today, we're going to use it in the context of, as he comes in here and he starts getting angry, he gets in my face and he's yelling and stuff like that. Relax, just relax and get angry. So he gets in here, he's yelling in my face and stuff like that. As he does this, I know that this fight has progressed down, so he comes in and starts yelling at me, and I immediately come on top, and I'm getting a top position. If he does this and he starts pulling up his hands, this is okay too, because I trap him, and this is the whole point. From right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to drive him forward. Now, if we're doing the version that we learned, this is all pretty cut and dry, so come back here a little bit so it's more visible. Relax, relax. As I get to here, I drive him back, front kick, side kick, and then I'm going to turn into my turning back kick. Now from right here, what we do is we step down into this motion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to step down, I'm going to grab his arm, and I'm going to reach through, I'll turn this around so you guys can see, and grab his collar. This is going to lead to our next motion when I pull back here. But essentially what's going to happen is, as I come through, I do my turning back kick, and don't back up. He stays put, he blocks and he stays there. If he backs up, obviously I have to do something else. But in this case, he holds his ground. So what do? I grab on top. I'm going to grab material if he has it and pull it in tight. My other hand is going to reach through and grab his collar. And as you can see, this is already fairly uncomfortable for him. This is going to lead me towards stepping through into my strike. Now, that is our version. The Kukkiwon standard version is very similar in how it starts. He comes in here, he's yelling in my face, he's posturing. Look at this guy, always trying to get an edge on me. Never a break. All right, so he comes in here and he's yelling at me, he's in my face. There we go. So I step forward here on top. Now, what I'm going to do is, we're going to do a palm strike, right? So what I'm going to do is I can grab his collar, I can grab his hair, and in this case, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the hair to a palm strike. I grab the hair. I'm pulling this back into my palm strike as I advance in. I grab his hair and I advance into my palm strike. So it becomes like this. Grab the hair, palm strike. Grab the hair, palm strike. Just like so. So that's going to be part number one. So a quick recap. First version, he's yelling, he hits in my face. I get on top of him. I drive it back, front kick, side kick, turning back kick. I reach through and I'm going to grab this material and his sleeve. I'm going to pull it around so you can see. Grab it like so. So I come through into this. Okay? This second version, I'll show it from the other side so it's easier to see. I come through and I block, I grab the hair, palm strike. Grab the hair, palm strike, grab the hair, palm strike, and keeping him back. Pop! Okay? That's part number one. Okay guys, part two. So the next thing that we do in Keungang is after we finish here with the palm strike, or in our case where we finish here, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to step back into this motion here. Now traditionally we get taught these are blocks, but we're repurposing techniques and rethinking about how we can use them. So the first thing I like to do is if I can grab a collar and pull him into this strike, it is a devastating push-pull motion. And this is what we're doing a lot of today. I grab the hair and I push and I pull. I grab the collar, I pull and I strike. Same thing. So as I come to here, I can grab a collar and strike. From here, I can grab a collar, I can grab an arm and pull him across. If he has his hands up, I can grab a wrist. So it can be any of those things. So think about if you're in a position, grabbing whatever they give you. Don't necessarily try to dictate. I get a collar, I get an arm. Don't dictate that. As I get to here, if I get a collar, if that's available, sure, I'm gonna grab it. But if that's not there and his hands come up, let's say, maybe I grab I go for an arm drag. Whatever it is, I'm gonna reach through and I'm gonna pull it back as I strike into it. So that's segment number 2. Okay, so the next motion that we have here is, we have this crane stance where we do the down block, upper block here. And then the way you normally see this form demonstrated is usually kind of a slow motion power move. In our school, we do it differently. We just come straight up into it. However, what we're talking about here is this. I've done my final attack. So now I've got a guy here who's gonna kick out my back leg. This is very similar to what is a Muay Thai version of a cut kick, which is different from a Taekwondo cut kick. In a Muay Thai cut kick, a lot of times what happens is, let's say I go to kick and he checks my kick. Go ahead, just bring that front leg up and check. Bam. So now what happens is they do what's called a cut kick and they kick out the base leg. So as I come up, I kick out the bottom leg instead. I can come around the back to do this. So as he brings this leg up, pop, I kick out the back leg. This is what he's doing here. He's gonna be here, and I just did this. He's gonna kick out my back leg. So what am I gonna do? This leg is gonna come up to block it with my heel. Simultaneously, I'm striking with the down block and I'm covering my face. One more time. Go ahead and kick out my back leg. Oh, can't have that. So let's go back. He goes to do it. Pop. And I guard up and I block this kick with my heel. As I do this, I strike here. Now from right here, I strike. Pop. One more time. He comes through, he kicks, block, strike. This is a very close range technique. Obviously I'm not punching way far across. Bam. Now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna grab his collar and I'm gonna step around to Taekwondo. I step, and I'm not gonna throw my dad because he's 73, but as I come across, I yank his body across in a Taekwondo. So one more time, I come down and I step down. Oh, go from the beginning, but pop. Here, pop. I grab his collar, I step, and I yank him across into the Taekwondo so that he falls right in front of me. Okay? That's the next part. All right, guys, so the next sequence that we have this here. We do this full mountain block. We step through, twin blocks, down, back to Junbi, and then step through. So here's what we're doing for this. I just finished going right here. Pop, here, okay? So I finished here, facing this way. So my opponent is right here, just like he is, and what I'm gonna do is, I have to clear a hand, so I'm gonna grab, and I step through into an elbow straight, right into his torso. Now if his hand's blocking, that's fine, and this is what gives us our high section full mount. I'm not gonna elbow you, I promise, it's okay. My dad, he doesn't trust me. So I come in here, elbow straight. Now, as I step through, I grab his legs. Now once again, my dad's 73, so I'm not gonna throw him to the ground, but I grab here, like so. Grab his legs and pull them out. This is a very common throw. One more time. I go to here. I go to here. Go to your guard. Fighting stance. There you go. I step through. I clear a path, and I come up high as I drop my body low. I step through. I grab his pant legs. My hips come back as I pull out his feet. Then I'm going to go through, back to Jun B. Now from Jun B, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. He comes over here. Oh, come on. Take your fighting stance, switch your side. Same thing. Here, pop. If I have to, I clear the hand. But sometimes it might be just as simple as maybe his hand is outstretched and I don't like this. So I come through and I strike on the inside of it, okay? And then I rinse, wash, and repeat the process. Once again, we come back to here. We block that cut kick to the back of my leg. I step down, I punch. As I come around, I grab the collar, tie a toshi. I do this again, rinse, wash, repeat. And then it makes up the rest of the form. So this is gonna be the Bunseog of Koryo. I hope you liked it. Please throw in the comments things that you'd like to see or your own interpretations of it. I'd love that. But this way, at least it kind of gives you an impression of things that we should be doing with this form that are more repurposed for dealing with modern day problems.
시작! Come on.